Hello and welcome back here. In this video what we're going to be doing is cutting in the ceiling and then rolling it out here. And as you can tell from the video that I just took here, it looks like someone had just rolled out the ceiling without cutting in the edges. So along the edges of the perimeter of the ceiling, it's darker. So we're going to be I'm going to have to recut that in here, and in this project we're going to be using this ceiling paint by Benjamin Moore, okay, and this is a waterborne ceiling paint, and it dries to an ultra flat sheen, okay, and on the side of the can here there's the green promise, so this is a environmentally friendly paint here. Now this paint right here by Benjamin Moore, it came out probably like close to 10 years ago, and this is a thicker formula paint here, so this should cover well here, and this doesn't spatter as much as some of the other ceiling paints that Benjamin Moore has to offer here. So I'll put this down here. And to cut it in, the brush I'm going to be using is a Corona Excalibur 1.5" Chinex bristle brush right here, and I already have the paint in here. So I'll put these down here, and we'll be back in the flash to start to cut in here. Now we're not doing the walls. The walls are already done here. We're just going to cut in the ceiling here. So I'm going to show you some of the tips and techniques that I use to cut in against a ceiling against walls that are already done, and we don't need to do the walls, so we can't overlap onto the top of like the walls there. So we'll be back in a flash to get going with the cutting in of the ceiling, so we'll see you soon. Hello and welcome back here. Obviously you can tell I have my Warner stilts on here, and these are great for jobs where you have to cut in against the ceiling, provided that there's nothing in the room to trip over here. Okay, so I have my ceiling paint in here. I'm going to load up the brush. I'm going to dip the brush in, and then tap it to one side here. Okay, and we'll start in the corner here. So I'm just going to come close to the edge. Okay, now when cutting in the ceiling, when you're not going to paint the walls, what you want to do is you want to recreate a new cut line, okay, into the edge of the ceiling here. So you just want to come real close, and then once you come close, just keep going. Okay, now there's an area right here where I'm going to try to get a little bit closer, like so. So that got rid of that there. I'll come in and feather off the paint there. Okay, and then go back into what I did while laying my knuckles close down to the ceiling there. So I pulled from here all the way over to here, and as you can see, it's a perfectly straight line, not really getting so much of the ceiling paint onto the walls here. Okay, so we'll come over here. I'll switch over to my right hand now and load up the brush like so, and come about 1/2 inch away or 1/4 inch to release the paint, and then slowly come into it. And feather back into what I did. Really trying to lay a lot down there to hide the darkness of the corner here. Okay, so come close, and I'm right there, and now I just come right across. And we're recreating a cut line into the corner of the right angle of the ceiling. And just come back with the brush there. Okay, we're gonna come into the corner here. Come into the corner and go down with it. Now, with the corner there, I'll load back up, put the paint a half an inch, turn the brush around. That rids the paint of the brush and it puts it to the ceiling there. And I really don't have a lot on the bristles here. So I'll come back into it and slowly work it to the corner. Okay, I'll turn my brush around like that to get into that corner there. And slowly pull down there and feather this paint off here. Okay, so that's going to take care of that there. I'll load back up here, come into the corner, work it against the ceiling, recreate the line that we're going to cut across. Okay, load back up. I'm gonna try to go slow here, so you can see where I released the paint there. It's probably 1/4 of an inch away, okay? And now I'll come back in, find the line that I want to cut straight across from, and pull down. Okay, now come into it and go back into what I did there. Okay, so I'll load that back up here. This is the edge to where I just brought the paint. Bring it 1/4 of an inch, get rid of the paint. I'll grab a little bit more paint now. Okay, that looks good. Find that edge. Okay, so I'll stop there for the sake of the video there, so you can see how I cut in a ceiling against the walls that are already painted. Now, if you're going to paint the walls, you obviously want to start with the ceiling first. And when you start with the ceiling, you can overlap onto the walls, okay? Because then you're going to cut in the walls last. But here, we're not going to do that. Another way to do it, if you're not good with doing it freehand, is you would have to tape off the walls first, okay? And then you can be sloppy with the ceiling paint, but the downside to that is when you go to take the tape off, you could peel off part of the wall paint, then you would have to fix that. So it's always best to try to learn to cut in freehand. So I'm just gonna continue to cut around here on the stilts, and then we'll be back to roll out the ceiling. So we'll see you on the next one. Okay, so welcome back here. Now we got the ceiling all cut in, and now it's time to roll it out here. So I have my painter's pole right here, and I have my paint set up down here. And we're going to be, I have a 1/2 inch Benjamin Moore Aura roller cover that we're going to be rolling out the ceiling with here. Okay, so I'll screw that on here. Now with the ceilings, we're going to be going from this way right here. Okay, so I'm just going to load up here again, and then I'm going to slowly transfer this to the ceiling. We'll start in the middle, and you don't want to transfer the paint right against the edge here, okay? You want to go at least a few inches away. and just come as close to the wall as possible here. Okay, now I'm trying to really lay this on thick there. And again, this is a thicker paint too. So you shouldn't have any problems with the coverage. And you don't want to roll too fast because then it'll start to spatter. So we got it like that there. Now I'll come into the corner here and come as close to the wall as possible there, okay? And we'll load back up here. And again, you don't want to apply too much pressure because then you're going to ruin the roller. So we'll get rid of the paint. Come as close to the wall as possible. Come as close to this hook that's in the ceiling. Okay, so I have it like that, and I'll come into it here, come as close as I can. Okay, and we'll reload up here again. So when I'm doing the ceiling, this puts a lot of strain on your back and your shoulders. So it's best to keep the roller right in up front of you because that's where your center of gravity is. Okay, so you don't want to roll way out there because that's going to put a lot of strain on your shoulders. Come as close to the hook as possible. Okay, and again, this is a dead flat paint. Load up. Start in the middle. And whenever you get the roller right over your head, just slow it down so it doesn't spatter. And when I normally do this, and I'll come over here and hit the corner. When I normally do the ceilings, I'll usually just wear a hat. So you don't get the paint all over yourself. Now with a bathroom like this, it's kind of tight because you have the toilet and the vanity and the door. But a lot of times you just have to work with what you got. Okay, I just go back into it here, make sure. Okay, now I'll come over here, come as close to the wall as possible there. Okay, so you start in the middle here and work towards there. I'll do a W to really spread the paint out. Now this might be hard for the camera to pick up here because we're getting the sunlight that's coming in and shining on the wall, and then we also have the shadows of the corners here too to deal with. Okay, I'll just load up a little here and bring this to the corner a few inches away from the wall, and then go as close to the corner as possible there. And again, these rollers are great because the edges are tapered off in such a way that I'm able to get real close to the corner of the wall. Okay, so and we'll start in the middle here and do a W that gets rid of the paint. And just go real slow here. Okay, so I have it on like that. I'll come over here and get as close to the wall as possible. You can see I'm probably getting within a quarter all of an inch there. And with this door in the way, it's kind of made it difficult, but I'll come as close to the wall here and then come all the way back with it. And come all the way back with it again. Okay, I'll just go around and look at everything. And sometimes you might have laid down too much of the ceiling paint there. Just go back into it there, just to get rid of it. Look over here. I think there's a spot there. Okay, so I'll put this down here. Again, this is what the roller looks like here. So this ceiling paint is very thick, and you can see it really did a good job at covering the ceiling both in the corners and in the center here. So we'll let this dry out, and then we'll take a look at it after it's done. So again, the paint that I used here is the Benjamin Moore, the ultra flat paint, and again it doesn't spatter that much, and the coverage is great. So thank you very much for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, so we let the ceiling dry out for approximately 2 hours here. And we'll bring you right up into the corners here to take a look at what it looks like. And on this wall, that dark area that you're seeing up there is just a shadow. And the shadow starts to go away there. So the ceiling turned out great. And again, this is the Benjamin Moore, the ultra flat paint that comes in a yellow can. So that's going to conclude this video series. So thank you for watching.